The Walt Disney Company has invested billions of dollars into Disney Star Wars and perhaps $1 billion into one facility alone. That's right, the Galactic Starcruiser. Well, we finally get to know what they spent those $1 billion to make, and it sounds like it's offices. Maybe only 100 offices. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter with That Park Place, and here with me is Mr. VashSky. Vash, are you ready to journey to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away to the ship where Han Solo and Princess Leia had their honeymoon?
If we have to, I suppose. I would love to see other parts of the galaxy, but we just have to be on this ship with no windows and no doors. No, wait, that's another.
No doors. That's right. Let's go to this story out of That Park Place. Rumor Disney's $1 billion Star Wars hotel to become costly office space as company buries failed Galactic Starcruiser project. This by Marvin Montanaro. Disney's ill-fated Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, the overpriced and short-lived hotel experience that shut down after barely a year, will not be repurposed for guests, according to a rumor from The Wrap. I will say this is a rumor that's been reported in several different outlets. I'm thinking this one's pretty sure. It will instead reportedly transform into an office space for Walt Disney Imagineering. I gotta say, sounds like they deserve it. The pricey failure, which reportedly cost upwards of $1 billion, will now house Disney's creative teams as they plan future attractions at Walt Disney World, which also typically involves deciding which beloved attractions to destroy. So they've joined the empire. The Halcyon is now in the hands of the First Order, since it is the sequel trilogy era, right?
Yes, I think it's the hands of the First Order. They finally won. They finally claimed the ship for themselves.
You know, this is a fascinating thing that made headlines from the moment that Disney announced it. It made headlines in the absolute wrong way. This thing was $1,200 a night per person. You were inside. You know, that claim of it being a windowless bunker. Now people are going to. Do you have any pictures of the rooms for this experience?
I absolutely do.
So, you know, this might actually be a pretty cool office every now and then. If it was a rainy day, okay, I can see instead of looking out into the rain, although I personally like a nice rain patter myself. Instead of looking out into the rain, you could look into a window that's super bright and has starships coming by every now and then. And when you go to light speed in that main area, it'll actually go to light speed in your room. So it was coordinated across all of the rooms.
Well,
the question is, of course, how much are they going to change this before they put offices in each one of these places?
you see, that's the thing. How much are they going to change? How much are they going to reinvest, transforming these into workable offices? And here's the thing, too. Remember, Disney took a tax write-off on this, so I mean, it is, and it's still going to be a depreciable asset, not necessarily an appreciable one, making money or revenue for the company. So, they mitigate their payback that way, but they're going to have to pay back some of that, I think, if they reuse this at all. How much it's yet to be seen.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on that. I think that anything they put into refitting this space will be a new asset on the books for the Walt Disney Company. So
interesting. Okay.
And then that asset will become a depreciating asset for the company at that point. I think they're okay as far as I don't think they'll have to pay anything back at this point, although that would be a pretty hilarious circumstance if the IRS decided to go after them for the Galactic Starcruiser here.
I mean, it is $1 billion, right? Now you can reuse a lot of the infrastructure right there. I like this post from Scott Walker right here. Time to fire up Excel. See, it's the Excel spreadsheet right there on there.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, can you imagine? You could have it worked out. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's too good. That's too good. Hey there, Josh. Tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And after Chapek left the company, they tried to say that this was definitely a Bob Chapek initiative, totally Bob Chapek. Everything bad that happened at the company that was shameful was totally that Bob Chapek's fault. And no one that is currently at the company was an advocate for any of these things, right? Right? That's the idea. But man, okay. So each one of these rooms has a bathroom, and there is an escape door to the outside. So there were some people who were saying it's in a bunker. It's not literally a bunker. It appears to be a bunker. There are emergency exits from each one of these rooms. And I think there was a charge that you had to be, there was somebody that was saying that you had to be let out by the fire department. No, I think you can literally exit every single one of these rooms to the outside.
You can actually see on this particular photo right there above the suitcases at the very, I would say, left of your screen. You can actually see the latch that you would swing in a certain direction, and then that whole entire wall basically would open, and that would let you out into the emergency exit corridor right there. So you can get out. You're not completely locked in there, but you are talking about. I'm guessing we convert these rooms into office spaces, and that as you mentioned at the very start of the show, are we looking at maybe 100 of these offices right here?
Yeah, and I don't know how many people they have working at Imagineering these days. I don't know if it's way too many or way too little, considering the current state of the company. But you have, if these rooms are pretty close to how they exist now, you have windowless rooms that have a shower in them. So everybody's got a bathroom. That's kind of nice, but not everybody has a window. They do have a cafeteria inside of this, and it is a world-class cafeteria. I'm assuming at that $1,200 a night price point, it probably was a pretty nice cafeteria. I'm imagining that won't stay stock to what it is now, but it is Imagineering, so who knows how that's all gonna end up. This is so fascinating to me. The rumor before this, way before this, is that they were thinking about turning it into some kind of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. experience, or maybe a dinner theater for Star Wars, or the version that actually makes sense is putting Luke Skywalker or the Mandalorian into this. But no, Disney didn't do any of that. In fact, Vash, do you remember when they announced that the Starcruiser was going to be closing?
I believe September of 2022.
Yeah.
If I'm mistaken.
Well, it's not the date I was hung up on here, but it was when Kathleen Kennedy was inside the premiere of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. All of those people, phones off, inside that premiere is when the Galactic Starcruiser shutdown news came out. So right there you go. Something attached to Star Wars in the least Star Wars way possible. I mean, they advertise this as, oh, you get to see a galactic pop star. It's been pointed out by many other channels, and probably this one as well, that generally Star Wars is from the perspective of the Poe people, and not the people who have a lot of money. So most of Star Wars is not contemplating interacting with a pop star. Most of Star Wars is contemplating being in a war, or in a war-torn area, or perhaps on a space desert that is pretty hopeless. A bright and shining center of the universe? No, you're on the planet that is farthest from that. So
yes, exactly. And I'd be remiss to not bring up, obviously, the horrible advertising that went in here. You talk about the pop star. Remember that song, Jonas? You remember the song?
I do. It was, I'm sure they performed it well. I don't know, Vash.
I don't have the best ear for music, but it works half the time, and boy, oh boy, was it not working on that day, or at least telling me this is bad. And I think it was, and it just didn't, I don't think resonated with audiences, not the general audience nor Star Wars fans. And I think it really needed to capture at least one of those. And it simply didn't pull its weight in that regard. You mentioned what might have been for this specific attraction right here. From the Wrap article, they actually say something very kind of interesting. If we scroll down, we can see right here, the Wrap had heard rumblings that the building was going to be potentially utilized for a several-hour-long dinner theater type experience that would use the hotel's lobby, used for key storytelling moments as part of the Galactic Starcruiser, bridge, bar, and restaurant. The gift shop would also remain open, but the Wrap has been told quite firmly that the building will not be accessible to guests at all. One of the reasons why they cite as to maybe why the shift from being able to use it for guests and not is because of the shuttle. The proximity by which this connects to the theme park is actually quite large. So that doesn't really make it that accommodating for guests to make their way over here. It doesn't have an adjoining parking lot, for example. You do have to shuttle people in to this specific location. Jim Shull, actually 3 days before this report went live, actually said this. If the former Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser becomes the home for the Monsters, Inc. project team, that's interesting. their Imagineers will benefit from short walks to the project site. You can see just how far this was from the park proper. So all of these things, logistically, they really hindered themselves in the development of this specific experience from being able to use it in any other way but what it was solely intended for. So it's no surprise that they're trying to get at least some value out of it, given their large investment. But they're limited in what they can do. And even as office space, I would think that they're limited.
Right. And we talk about the construction umbilicus for the tropical Americas land. So instead of setting up trailers, let me just restate what is going through my head right now. Instead of setting up a series of trailers, they are using the remnants of a $1 billion failed project. So this is saving them the cost of putting trailers next to the Monsters Inc. land construction area. Is that reasonable, Vash?
Correct. It would appear that they're trying to save on costs associated with Monsters Inc. primarily, but I think also too other investments going into Walt Disney World over the next couple of years by not setting up trailers in distinct locations, but reusing this specific building. It's an idea. I mean, it's a thing, I suppose, but you just got to wonder if this is the best use for what is a $1 billion project here. Now, the facility I don't think is quite that much. I think a lot of the R&D attached to this specific building was why the price became so inflated. But still, I mean, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars worth of investment, and we're going to be using it for office space. I think Lou Warsman's Ghost Set talked about how this has got to be the most expensive office space in the history of the central Orlando area.
I think that is a very easy statement to make, and he's right on the money there. But that being said, we wanted to ask you, our viewers, on this $1 billion video. What's that?
There's one more thing I want to go ahead and bring out, Jonas. A little fun fact for you. So we talked about how small the rooms are and that they're not luxurious at all, especially with the price tag that they were giving for these things. Very, very expensive. Something like $6,000 for a couple nights stay, depending on the price point and the package that you actually receive. But here's the thing. If you go to the official Wikipedia page, Jonas, on Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, and you scroll down to the reception page, you'll see early photos of the Halcyon's small windowless cabins went viral before the hotel opened to the public, with many commenters on Twitter complaining that they were not a suitable luxury accommodation. Who were those Twitter guys? Well, if we go to the source for this, we'll go to a Dexerto article. If we click on that, we can scroll down and, well, look at that. Who's that guy right there?
Look at that.
There you go. So out of all the people who've ever talked about the Starcruiser, just remember, your boy Vash on here was one of the first to say, hey, this isn't luxurious. There you go.
That's a very good point. And, you know, they were going for those cruise lines on land here. But the thing about cruises is people generally feel like they're going to be going somewhere. They can't go if they're not on a cruise. And where was that place? Well, it was Disney. How much does it cost to get into Disney? Under $200 a day. So why would you pay $1,200 a day to go to a place that you can go for $200 a day? It was even less at the time. For less than the price, you could buy a season pass. And when I say season, a full year at any Disney park with 0 blackout dates for less than the cost of a Galactic Starcruiser stay. I'm going to say you're going to have more fun just going to the park for as many days as you are free. You still have to deal with the reservation system, but whatever. Of course, we always have interesting comments on our Galactic Starcruiser video, so please don't make this one a different one that misses out on your voice. Hit the like button if you feel so inclined, and if you haven't done it yet, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.